Welcome back to another episode of F That Job, the show that air out your workplace grievances, the place about jobs, people who work them, people who escape them. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Rashawn P.
I'm Chad.
And welcome to another episode. So, what we got going today, man?
We got somebody calling in to talk about dealing with some toxicity in their workplace. I mean, I know it's a lot of people out there who done probably dealt with some similar situations to what we're gonna be talking about with this guest today. But I think it'll be good for people out there to kind of be able to see what's going on and maybe be able to use that as a measuring stick and figuring out if it's time for you to start looking for a way out of your toxic situation.
Yeah, because I think that with this one, like, necessarily doesn't have to be something that was like really negative that happened to you.
Mhm.
It just could just be the whole environment that make you say, yo, F this, like I'm out.
Yeah.
Because just like you just might just see the foolery that's just going on, and it's like you don't want to get caught up in it. You got co-workers, you got unprofessionalism, you got just like it could be the pay,
Mhm.
and you know what I mean, like, or you just looking for a whole brand new environment, like working from home. Yeah.
Bro.
So before we get into the caller, everybody please like, comment, subscribe, hit the
Share.
bell for notifications, share, tell a friend. Let's get these numbers up. Let's get these comments up, and yeah, man, share the show, man. We back, new year. We ready to take this to the next level. So
yeah, and if y'all enjoy the stories and y'all got stories of your own, that's one of the reasons why the format of the show is like this, is so that y'all can get in touch with us and y'all can come on and air out y'all workplace grievances. Like we say in the beginning, this is the show to air out your workplace grievances. So if you got a story to tell, hit us up, DMs, whatever, and let us know in the comment section, whatever it is. And we actually already had we had one of our last guests, Chris,
yeah,
one of our previous.
he was in the comments.
He was in the comments.
Yeah,
I know him personally, but he hit us up in the comments and was like, "I got a story." He got on the show. So,
all right. So let's get into this next caller.
Let's get into it.
All right.
All right, so we back with another guest, and like we've been saying almost every episode, it's people we don't know forever.
We don't know, right?
Like for me, this literally since diapers. I got a picture of me, him, and his brother sitting on my grandmother's couch, and I think I'm like 1 years old in the picture. Like definitely got on the pamper in that video. I mean that picture.
Since I have memories.
Yeah. So let's welcome to the show, Trey. So one of the main reasons I wanted to ask you on to the show is because going back to another show we did with Adi, we was talking about how like me and Adi was saying like out of high school, like if we would have known, had the foresight to like learn a trade, like things probably would have been a little bit different for us.
Right.
I ended up finishing. He didn't end up finishing down there where we was at, but I think after I graduated, I never even touched my, what I majored in, which was,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But like after I got done graduated from college, I worked, for a general contractor for like maybe 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that. And to this day, it was like the most fun, rewarding job that I've ever worked. But for whatever reason, in my head, I'm like, well, no, I went to school for strength and conditioning. I gotta try to be
I didn't even know that's what your degree was in.
Well, that's not what my degree was. I got a general studies degree because I had too many credits and I had a son and I wanted to get the fuck up out of school. So like, But like I was studying strength and conditioning when I was in school,
Oh, okay.
so that was in my head. But like I was enjoying the shit that I was doing. Like we building porches and shit like that, and so that's why we wanted to have Trey on the show. So just tell us a little bit about what you do for a career, and then we'll get into the rest of the show.
Right on. Yeah, so my main thing is drywall finishing. That's my specialty.
Mm.
And for the people who don't know, if you watch any HGTV or any home remodel makeover shows, anything like that, once they do their little demolition shots that they show you, and then they show you the new drywall, and then they give you a quick flash of white lines and the white dots. That's what I do. I put the white lines and dots on the new drywall. That's the majority of my work and that's my specialize.
Mm.
So, and that's just getting the new drywall ready to take. With that being said, I also hang the drywall. I can paint it, frame interior walls and stuff like that. Also, commercial, residential.
So,
So,
excuse me. So how did you get into it? How did you get into doing drywall and doing the skilled trades and all other kind of stuff?
right. So, similarly to yourself, with the college, I didn't finish school. And I was floating around doing a bunch of bullshit non-career jobs, right? So I ended up getting married in 2013.
Yeah, I was at the wedding.
So that would have been 10 years ago.
Yeah.
This year. So I get married, and I actually had a job at Johnson and Johnson,
Okay.
working clinical diagnostics, right? So I don't know if you knew, I was going to school for engineering, mechanical engineering, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had got a scholarship and whatnot. So I went to Johnson and Johnson to apply for a job in the warehouse. And once the recruiter got to looking at my resume, she saw the school I went to, what I went to school for. She asked me this, that, and the third. She found out I had the scholarship and all of that, right? So she decided to instead put me up for a position in their research and development department as a lab assistant instead of the warehouse joint that I was coming for. So I get in there, I'm working, this, that, and the third. I'm just being a person who has never had a white collar job before, and I'm not being personable, and I'm just coming to work, doing my thing, leaving for lunch, and being to myself, not really fitting with the environment of culture. So I ended up losing that job, but I had just got married in May. This is September when I lose that job, right?
Mm.
So I'm like, I need a job. I'll take any job that comes. So my dad, he been doing this work for it'd be 40 years at this point, because at that point this is damn near 30.
Yeah, and not to cut you off, I remember being a kid and your dad doing work at my grandparents' house, like in the attic and all over the house and stuff like that. So yeah.
That so and because of that, I've been, I would me and my brother, we would work with him whenever it was appropriate. You know what I'm saying? Get a little $5 an hour for a couple hours here and there. So it's kind of funny that I'm doing this shit as a real career. I've been doing it since a kid. So so my dad, he needed a ride to work, a consistent ride to work, so that he can get 40 hours in. Company he was working for. So the boss gave me a job, and 10 years later, here I am.
So you said it was kind of ironic, like growing up doing this off and on, just helping your dad out. Now it's been your career for the last 10 years. How is the transition into it been? Was there any kind of resistance? Like at any point was you like, all right, I'm gonna do this for now, but like I'm still gonna be looking for some other shit, like, or were you just kind of like all in on it once you got a job? Like, oh, fuck it, I'm here now, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, it was the latter. Like once I started, and it wasn't even at first it wasn't like a conscious choice. I don't know, for some reason, like once I started doing it, I just dove right in.
Yeah.
Before
And then
you before you like kind of took this head on and like coming up before you said you had the Johnson and Johnson thing, but what did you want to do? Like what was the thing that you kind of like thought like, hey, this would be something I would like to do like in my career, like, as an adult. Like what did you want to do?
after what age? Like after college?
Yeah, after
Yeah,
college.
because you said you was going to school to be for mechanical engineering, and like, people say they're an engineer, they go to school for engineering. That shit just sounds impressive to me. Like, oh, this nigga's an engineer. Like, but I don't know exactly like,
Right.
what does a mechanical engineer do? Like, I don't even know what the fuck that shit is. Like,
It's funny, so that right there is actually part of the reason I had chose mechanical engineering, because in the world of engineering, it's a wide scope of
Right.
what they would be available to do. And once you get into electrical and your chemical and your bio, you know what I'm saying, those get more specialized. But whatever they doing, they gonna need a mechanical engineer on the team also.
okay.
So that's why I really started with that. And, what did I want to do after that? So people, bro, I didn't want to do shit, bro. I was I was trying to find. I was trying. I've been on this find the residual income since then. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I've been talking about business type things. That's when I started talking about it. You know what I mean? Before then, since a kid, my mom told me a couple months ago she found some business cards I made when I was in middle school that I was actually passing out to motherfuckers in the neighborhood to rake their leaves and shit like that.
So it's always just had the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, man. So yeah, after college, it was like I'm a. So my train of thought after college was I'm gonna do whatever becomes available, the best way to make some money, so I can then put that money into something that make money, so then I don't gotta work no more.
Mhm. So you always
And
had that mindset. You was just like just hustling, like just to be a hustler, like using what you got, and then just finding a quicker way out, more efficient way out, I would say.
right, but where I didn't have was the like I could have been just randomly hustling up money, but I was really waiting on something like this drywall shit.
Hmm.
Right now I'm in it to the point where I can thinking about making other types of things also. So I was really waiting on this type of thing, accumulate this, that, the third. Then, because that's still the goal, is to
Yeah.
not work.
Nobody wants to
Yeah.
work,
I
like
can't
right, like
I can't think of nobody who like, there's people out there who be like, this is my passion. I love doing this, but it ain't really work to them.
right.
And I don't really know nobody who like just work a job and be like, man, I can't wait to go clock in. You could like, I don't really know that. Like, so,
Well, I mean, even with that too, though. Like even that, like once this, they need that monthly, or that they need that income. I mean, still working don't feel like work. I'm talking about no sweat equity and
yeah,
money still coming in. Like
yeah,
that's still the goal.
yeah.
Right,
I feel
right.
you. So I've seen some of the pictures you put up on like Instagram, like after you done, got done like drywall in the spot, sand in the spot, finishing and all that other stuff. You covered in white dust. So what's some of the, you got any stories about working jobs, or what's give our listeners something about like what's a typical day as being a drywall finisher. Like what's your typical work day like, and what's some shit that people wouldn't expect that you run into on a job.
Right on. So let me see how I can answer that. So it first depends on what arena of construction they're in, like they're residential or commercial,
Mm.
right? So with the commercial, things get regular and quickly, right? We're doing commercial buildings, a lot of things are cookie cutter at the same state. I'm doing a big building. The last big ass building I did, I was with a company doing the Midtown Tower, turning those apartments from
Okay.
Midtown
Sibley.
Okay.
yeah, right. So the company I was with, we did a bunch of floors. We was there for I was there for about 6 months because I ended up leaving before that job got done, and this, that, and third, and then I ended up working for myself and starting that journey. But yeah, we was there for a long time, so shit like that get repetitive. It's the same shape, same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What
But
what are those jobs that you're doing because when I'm looking on your Instagram and you like standing on these stilts and I be sitting there looking like, yo, he just showing us the highlights. I'm like, I know this nigga done fell off them stilts. Yo, like
so I have not so yet.
you ain't fell? All right, hold on. Let me not put that on you, man. Let me knock on wood.
Thank you, because my dad has not fell also.
40 years never?
40
Oh,
years,
that's what's
never.
up. Right.
So, but still, yeah, it's still highlights, right? Because like I said, even though for me, let's say I'm doing two different houses, whatever, I'm still doing the same process pretty much over and over from room to room,
Mm.
a couple days in a row. So that's why I only post, quick hits of stuff, like stuff that look crazy. I'm on the stilts or high up on the lift or a scaffold or something.
So you mentioned in there that started the process of going out on your own. How has that been so far? Like, take us through that. Like, how do you find jobs? How do what I'm saying? Is it just word of mouth, or like what's that whole process been like?
Yeah, so that journey, that came I like how else to persuade that. So again, so I started with my dad, right?
Yeah.
So my dad at that point had been working for about 30 years. So a regular thing in construction is side jobs, right? A lot of trades people do side jobs just to, make ends meet or extra, whatever, right? So I'm my dad, right? He been doing side jobs for 30, 20 years. Anytime he got a side job, I'm going with him. So now I'm getting a little extra money and more importantly, extra practice.
Yeah.
So because if you go to the union, each trade has a certain amount of time in the union until you get your journeyman status, which is the top dollar
Hmm.
for that trade. For drywall finishers, it take 3 years to get the status. Because I was working for a private company and doing the side work with my dad, I got the status in a year and a half, which part of the transition of me working for myself. So I'm working for this company, um, and I'm making just about as much on my side jobs that I'm getting in the paycheck with them. So I'm already starting to, have some thoughts I be having. I I get over for it, and then with myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the first inspiration. Once I actually made that transition, it was, it's a lot of word of mouth. It's some shopping around. Like it's a lot of times I just I see a job site going, a dumpster. You know what I mean? So I just walk up on the job and like, yo, who doing the drywall? If they got somebody, I ask, I talk to them. If they don't have anybody, I say you got somebody now. Let me take some measurements. And
Yeah.
Simple as that.
but yeah, the word of mouth is the best because it's smooth.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about you talked about the unions, and I wanted to ask you about like, so for somebody like maybe like there's a younger kid who's like maybe just getting out of high school and just trying to find their way of what they what they're trying to do. Like how would they go about getting into one of those unions to try to get into like the same line of work that you got going on?
So they pick a trade. Every union has a hall. There's plumbers union, electric union. You know what I'm saying? Whatever union you're looking for.
Hmm.
Painters union, carpenters union, iron workers union, Masons got a union, electricians have a union, plumbers have a union, HVAC, they have a union, flooring people have a union. I think I'm not sure about tile. They might or that might just be a subset of flooring or the Masons. But and I say that because like as a finisher, drywall finishers, we don't have our own union. We're part of the painters union.
Okay.
Okay.
Um so but regardless of that, whatever trade a person is interested in, there's a union. If you have a high school diploma or a GED, you just go fill out the application, take the test. Test is basic math, reading comprehension, and the most important part of that test is reading the measuring tape. Um, a lot of people know about getting work at the city, how you get ranked and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Same shit. You take this test, you get a score, you get ranked. Based off your rank, when a spot in the apprenticeship program open up, they just go top to bottom on the list. Um, unless you know somebody and it's not the third. Like there is here locally, the name of this program, MAP, MAPP,
Hmm.
multi trade apprenticeship preparation program. They give people basically transferable skills for construction, and then they get those people placed into a union, a specific union.
Okay.
That's some good information to pass along to because I know a lot of in my line of work I work with a lot of young men who a lot of them just really just trying to find their way, so that's definitely going to write that down and pass that information along to them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Especially. Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
that's a lot of the inspiration of. So first it was just I don't want to work for you. I work for myself. So, there's levels to this. Also, like, there's people who just work for themselves and they don't really do a lot of business type things. And they don't hire people and just and what they need. And then you got people who got the, small companies, bigger companies, and then the real big companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at first, I was going to just work for myself, be one of those people. But like Rashawn just said, like young people looking for a way, I'll be in the store here and there. And the young person would be like, yo, what's up, punk? Let me get a job. So that's when I decided to go work for myself to do what I need to do to build a company so I can give them a job / career. Because, one, the best thing about construction is it does not matter what your past or your background is. If you already have the skills and the knowledge to do a trade in task, if you can do the work, you're going to show up on time when you're supposed to show up and not steal nobody's stuff. If you can do the work, you can get a job anywhere. in the world as long as the work is available.
Yeah. And on top of that, I worked in education in schools and high schools and middle schools. And, we've taken kids to like job fairs and stuff like that. And it's all in the last, I say probably like the last 4 or 5 years, it's been this kind of push to like try to get kids back interested in the skilled trades again, because a lot of those older guys who was the plumbers, electricians, the carpenters is getting old and can't do the work no more, and it's not enough people in the trades to keep up with a lot of the work. So, it's dope that you got to the point now where you want to know what, I think it's time for me to start, trying to make my business so I can, hire some people and train up the next generation too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's definitely true. There's a lot of vacancies and just construction everywhere.
Yeah. So, so we want to thank you for coming on the show, giving us this information, um, sharing it with us about, what you do with skill trades and all that stuff in general. Uh, if you want to give out your Instagram or how people can get in contact with you if they need some drywall finishing, any other services that you offer, go ahead and give us that right now. Whatever your Instagram or however you want people to get in contact with you.
Right. Yeah. So they could just give me a call at 585-201-6987. 585-201-6987, or email contact.m3construction@gmail.com. And my Instagram is Trey, just underscore PR, the number 3, and then the letter Y.
All right. You got anything else you want to tell our listeners?
Yeah, if they do have young people that, graduating and not necessarily headed to college, don't know what they do, send them to a union. For sure. That's definitely the best move, because they either can just have a good job or they can work for themselves, whatever, business, whatever. And, it's just there. It's open opportunity.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for calling in.
Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
All right, y'all. So another good episode. I'm glad we was able to do this one because I've had this in my mind since we had the episode with Adi a few episodes back. I just wanted somebody to come on and just talk about, working in the skilled trades and how to get into it, what it's like doing it, and all that other kind of stuff. And he gave some good information about, how he ended up there and about how you can get in there too. You don't gotta be, it's funny because I was just literally just talking to my mom earlier today about it. I was like, um, I started a new job, but I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. It's kind of shaky right now. It's not. I'm not really feeling it. It's work from home, and I'm and I fuck with the work from home, but like I'm also kind of like, I don't know about all this.
It may not be for you.
It may. I know it's not for me. And that's the thing. Like I've told myself, I was gonna get out of this kind of line of work 3-4 years ago. So the fact that I'm still here is just kind of like I should probably just go ahead and do that. But I was just like, talking about the fact that like my favorite job had always been that working for that, that general contractor, like building porches and, remodeling like kitchens and stuff like that. That was like one of my favorite jobs I ever had. She was like, and I was like, I wish I would have like, took the time to go become a carpenter. She was like, it's not too late. And I'm like, I feel like I'm too old, but I feel like I'm too old, but y'all not. Take y'all asses, take y'all asses up to a union hall and take that test, and
Yeah,
maybe.
he definitely gave some good information that, and I'm going to use that information and pass it along to, again, some of the younger guys that I work with, some of the younger guys that I know, just, like I said, maybe graduated from school, maybe not graduated from school, you know, like maybe just out in the streets, maybe kind of doing the wrong thing. But just younger men just who are just trying to find a way. I think that's really what the overarching like, you know, theme of their life or what they got going on is. They just trying to find a way. And I think that, you know, as a you know, and our age and you know, being us, like it's kind of our responsibility to kind of like offer them solutions versus just telling them, yo, you're wrong,
Yeah.
you know. So I think it's important, and I think you know if y'all watching this episode for all of the listeners and um the watchers of this episode to take that information and you know and pass it along to somebody because you know that could you don't know you know that person might be the person who built the next skyscraper in the city or something like that, right? We don't really got skyscrapers here though.
Not really.
Yeah, but they might build one. You know what I mean? like you know, like they might be the person that you know that you'll remodel your home and like you know start building. You
Your
know,
pipes might freeze. You might need somebody come in and help you out with that. You need a plumber come in to fix the drywall after the pipes freeze and all that other kind of stuff. And these is the next generation of these people who could be doing this type of work for you.
for sure. So definitely shout out to Trey for passing along that information. I appreciate passing along the information because a lot of people like to hoard information and not pass it along.
Word.
So another episode, man.
Another episode. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I'm missing one. That's all of them? I think that's all of them. But yeah, get in the comments, y'all. Let us know. Y'all got any more information to pass along on how to get into the skilled trades? You got any stories about working on a construction site? Any of that other kind of stuff? Pass along that information so we can, help this next generation of workers come up.
F that job.
That job and F with us.
F with us.